Welcome to July, the beginning of the second half of 2026, and our first midweek encouragement of the month. And today is the beginning of the second half of camp for our crew at Real Life. Now remember, you can check in for worship tonight and see what we're up to, and you can do that tonight and tomorrow around 9 p.m. on the Real Life Blue Springs Facebook page. So I hope you'll check us out. Today also marks the beginning of the second half of our journey through the Psalms. So if you're reading through the Psalms with us, today's readings come from Psalm 76 and Psalm 77. And with all the hoopla surrounding this weekend celebration of our country's 250th anniversary, let us not forget that today is Canada Day, which is always a big deal when I have spoken at Camp Susquehanna up in Pennsylvania during the week in which July 1st falls, because several staff members were always from Canada. So, happy Canada Day, eh? Now today, I want to encourage you to keep on keeping on. Some of the world's most successful people were told by the so-called experts that they didn't have what it took to be a success in the professions that they had chosen. In 1927, Lucille Ball was told by an instructor at the John Murray Anderson Drama School, "Try another profession, any other." Universal Pictures dismissed both Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds, claiming that Reynolds had no talent and Eastwood talked too slowly. Malcolm Forbes, the late editor-in-chief of Forbes magazine, failed to become part of the staff of his school newspaper when he was an undergraduate at Princeton University. Then you have the Decca Recording Company, whose executives responded negatively to the audition of 4 young musicians, saying, "We don't like their sound. Groups with guitars are on the way out." So the Beatles took their sound elsewhere. For 7 years, a young inventor named Chester Carlson took his idea to 20 corporations, all of which turned him down. The Haloid Company finally purchased the rights to his electronic paper copying process, and Haloid became Xerox. So don't be discouraged if you are not finding the acceptance and the success that you desire right now. Your story is still being written. Now in Hebrews 6, 11, and 12, the Bible says, "And we desire each one of you to show the same earnestness, to have the full assurance of hope until the end, so that you may not be sluggish, but imitators of those who through faith and patience inherit the promises." Faith and patience are the 2 qualities that will bring you success. And that is why the Apostle Paul wrote to the Galatians in Galatians 6:9, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." So don't give up. Keep on keeping on. And since today is International Joke Day, which is a global observance dedicated to sharing humor and laughter, let me leave you with these today. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. A ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." And then we have 3 guys discussing the world's greatest invention. The first says, well, it had to be the telephone. It has made communication easier and made business possible across the globe. The second says, it's the truck. It allows us to move goods from market to market over long distances, and it means that we can get products transported in bulk. And the third guy says, the thermos. It keeps cold things cold and hot things hot. So the 2 other men say, well, we all know how a thermos works. What's so great about that? And the man replied, well, how does the thermos know? That's enough damage for one day. I love you, church, and happy Canada Day.